Hey folks, well I'm back already as promised. Tonight I'm going to try to work on the flat fenders of the Jeep. I also got the rear bumper kind of sanded down, ground down. I'm going to have to redo a couple of the welds because I ground it so far that the seams opened up a bit, but it's minor. I can just do a small bead and then grind it down again, so I'm not too worried about it. But in any case, let me show you what I'm going to try to attempt tonight and what I'm going to use. First I'll show you the bumper. Kind of got it finished off. Maybe it'll show up here. Actually, I'm going to try it on this blue folder and see. Blue background might help, might not. But that's how it turned out. Lots of grinding and sanding on the upright sander. Turned out not too bad. I don't know if you can see in the video. Let's see here. Let me find where it opened up. Okay, you can kind of see on that corner where it's opened up a bit. And there was another spot if I recall. But it doesn't matter. But it turned out not too bad, I think. I'm not going to do any more on it, welding or finishing, until I can get my spare tire mount rigged up. But you can kind of get an idea of what it's going to look like. I think that'll look alright once it's done up, and put some tow hooks and whatnot on it. So I'm happy anyway. Put that beside the other bumper. Now, like I say, I'm going to try to rig up some flat fenders, or at least start. It's part of the reason I've got this file holder here. I'm going to use it as stock for template. And as you can see, I've got this round rod here. I can't remember what size that is, if it's 3/16, I'm not sure, but I was worried it was going to be a little bit big in thickness, but probably the perspective in the video is kind of out to lunch, but I think it'll work good. It's going to make some fairly beefy flat top fenders, but still think it'll be alright. And as well, I picked up a small sheet of sheet metal. This is a lot thinner than the other stuff I was using for the bumpers, because I'm going to try something different. Instead of MIG welding it together, I'm going to try to braze it. That way the braze flows nice and smooth into all the joints and makes a nice clean connection. But the way I'm going to build this up is, I think I'm going to saw a few on TV and on the internet. I'm going to come out, kind of maybe back just a little bit, come across with the round rod and match it up at this arc here, and then come down at an angle till it meets the body here. So I think that'll work out okay for the front. And the rear, I haven't quite decided, but I'll probably do the same thing. I'll come out at an angle up, over, and then angle back in again here. So it's going to take a fair bit of work. I'm not going to finish it tonight, but at least I'll get started on it. I'm probably going to have to use lots of heat, bend this, first I'll make a template, or maybe I'll use some wire from the welder to use kind of as a rough template to bend it into place, and then I can use that to and follow with this. And once I make one side, I can mirror image and make the other side. They won't be exactly the same, but hopefully I can get them close. I'll give it a try anyway. Well, I used some aluminum welding rod, or for torch welding, which didn't work worth a darn, to rough bend up what I was going to maybe do, and I'll show you what I came up with. Pretty simple setup. Just going to kind of key in right in front of the hatch there, and then it'll come down at an angle. That space will be kind of even all the way along, and then at that corner it'll drop down an angle and hit the body at the base. And maybe I'll even tie it in with the rock sliders in some way. But one thing I noticed I'm gonna do, there goes my rod, is in the front here, the way I cut it open. If this is sitting here, like that. It's going to be hard, but from that bend, I'm going to have kind of an ugly gap, and it's not going to look right in the front there behind the grill. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take another rod and come from that corner, maybe come down into here, and I can fill that space in, and it'll kind of give that front a bit of a finished look. So that was the easy stuff to bend. Gives me a rough template, and now got to do it with this stuff. So I'm going to have to break out my little oxygen map setup and start heating it, see if I can get it bent the way I need to. Well, I got one side roughed on. It wasn't actually too bad heating and bending. I was able to use my it's my regular torch right there with map gas, and it got plenty hot to get it red and bend it. So I've just got it tacked on here with CA right now, get an idea of what it looks like. It's going to give me a ton of clearance, but once I'm almost thinking I might have to drop it a little bit or go with some bigger tires, though these ones are pretty big already. So we'll see. See how she looks. I guess once it's flexing, it'll give me just enough clearance, so I might just leave her as it is. So now the reason I tacked it on with CA is so I can use that blue stuff to make a template of sheet metal to fit in there, and then I'm going to braze it onto the top edge of this. I'm going to have to lower this mounting just a hair, because you can see once I put the sheet metal on, it's going to interfere with that hood latch. So I'll just drop this down a tick. There's enough plastic in there that it'll still fill in here complete to the body line. So and the other thing I'd mentioned, and I think I will do it, is possibly a brace down to here, just to fill in that gap. Maybe get some thinner wire. Let's see it. Kind of something like that. As long as it doesn't interfere with the tires, which I don't think it will, and it'll help fill in that big kind of unfinished gap, unnatural looking gap there. So I don't know if I'll use this size rod or if I'll step it down, but have to see what I can find. So now that I've got that side done, I'm not going to do the other side. I'm going to see if I can bend up a back as well, and then after that I'm going to call it a night. So let me bend this up and see what I can come up with. Well, there you have it. I got the rear one in place now and tacked on with some CA. I think it's looking pretty decent. It might, I don't know, it might look a little bit too meaty, but got lots of clearance there, and I kind of brought it to the back. I'll have to tweak this just a little bit so it's level, but yeah, so much for my tack job. That's what I get. But in any case, you got a view of it. And I've been thinking, after now that I've put these on, had them roughed in, it'll be really nice to be able to tie the rock sliders in as well. They'll come across as well, maybe up at an angle, and tie them all together, and should make for a pretty good looking setup. So I'm happy with how it's turning out, but I think I'm gonna call it a night. It's getting a little late and I'm getting kind of tired, so I think I'll pack it in and maybe hopefully work on this a little bit more tomorrow. I'm going to work on one side at a time, get it all roughed in, get the sheet metal on and brazed on, because there's no point in doing both sides if the one side, once it's done, doesn't turn out the way I want it. So I'll continue on tomorrow, get that sheeted in, and get some more footage for you guys. Until then, talk to you later.